Imagine standing in the eye of a storm, not because the world around you has quieted down or because chaos has simply stopped, but because deep inside you hold a fortress no tempest can break. Mental calm, that elusive peace so many chase, yet so few truly grasp, isn't about silence outside or the absence of conflict. It's about mastering the storm within. In a world relentlessly tugging at your attention with distractions, noise, and unexpected troubles, the real challenge lies in how you respond. This journey isn't about controlling what fate throws your way. That's impossible. Instead, it's about embracing the Stoic truth that freedom and strength come from owning your responses. It's about recognizing discomfort, not as punishment, but as a stern yet wise teacher guiding you toward growth. Each irritation, every frustrating moment, is a test and an opportunity to build unbreakable inner calm through self-control. As you learn to pause, that breath, that moment of stillness before reaction, you transform from a puppet of impulse into the master of your mind. Emotional maturity blooms when you stop reacting blindly and begin observing your thoughts and feelings with curiosity and calm. In this act of self-knowledge, vulnerability turns into armor. External chaos loses its grip, and peace emerges not as a distant destination, but as a way of life. To live peacefully amidst the noise, you must learn the art of deliberate silence and reflection, small pauses that accumulate into profound stability. This is no easy feat, but a daily commitment, a choice to protect the sanctity of your mind. When you do, your life reflects this balance, more meaningful, more grounded, and more truly yours. The power to remain serene in any circumstance isn't a gift reserved for the few. It's a skill you cultivate with intention, patience, and courage every single day. How to build unbreakable peace and find mental calm. 7 Stoic practices. 1. Accept what you cannot control. See discomfort as a teacher. 3. Master small daily reactions. 4. Transform impulse into reflection. 5. Cultivate deep self-knowledge. 6. Practice moments of intentional silence. 7. Choose peace as a daily commitment. If this is making sense to you so far, like the video and share it with someone who needs to hear this. It helps more people find these ancient yet timeless pathways to peace. We've journeyed through the initial stages of building an unbreakable inner calm, learning to accept what lies beyond our control, seeing discomfort not as a foe but as a stern teacher, mastering the small, daily reactions that define our character, and transforming impulsive responses into moments of deliberate reflection. These are not mere mental exercises. They are the foundational bricks of your inner fortress, fortifications against the endless onslaught of modern life. But the architecture of true serenity demands more. It requires us to look even deeper, to listen more intently, and to commit with an unwavering will. Cultivate deep self-knowledge. Imagine trying to navigate a ship across an unknown ocean without a map, without understanding your vessel's capabilities or its vulnerabilities. You'd be at the mercy of every current, every changing wind. Many of us live our lives this way, tossed about by external circumstances, reacting on instinct, feeling a constant unease because we haven't truly explored the landscape of our own minds. We haven't bothered to understand the inner workings of our own ship. This is where the profound Stoic practice of cultivating deep self-knowledge becomes not just beneficial, but absolutely essential for lasting peace. In an age saturated with external stimuli, with a constant digital hum vying for our attention, The loudest voice in our lives is often not our own, but the clamor of the outside world. Social media feeds tell us how we should look, what we should achieve, how we should feel. News cycles bombard us with fear and outrage, drawing our focus away from the only realm over which we have true sovereignty, our inner world. Consequently, many feel disconnected from themselves, adrift in a sea of other people's expectations and aspirations. They chase external markers of success, external sources of validation, all the while feeling an internal void, a nagging sense that something vital is missing. This void is often the absence of self-knowledge. The Stoics understood that true freedom and peace emerge from an intimate understanding of oneself, not just a superficial acquaintance with your preferences or your resume, but a deep, unvarnished exploration of your values, your fears, your prejudices, your motivations, and your inherent biases. It's about discerning what truly belongs to you, your choices, your judgments, your character, and what lies outside your direct control, external events, other people's opinions, the weather, the economy. Epictetus famously taught that our task is to differentiate between what is up to us and what is not up to us. This distinction, seemingly simple, is the bedrock of self-knowledge, guiding us to invest our energy wisely and cease striving for the impossible. How do we begin this profound journey inward? It's not a one-time revelation, but a continuous process of rigorous self-examination. The ancient practice of journaling, for instance, is not merely about recording events, but about reflecting on your reactions to them. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, essentially offers us a peek into his own profound journaling practice. He didn't just write about what happened. He questioned his motives, dissected his emotional responses, and reminded himself of Stoic principles. What have I done today that was not good? What good did I do? What did I omit that I ought to have done? These are the kinds of questions we should ask ourselves, not with judgment, but with a detached curiosity, like a scientist observing a phenomenon. Consider the moments when you felt most frustrated, most angry, most anxious. Instead of immediately blaming the external situation or the other person, pause and ask, why did I react that way? What deeply held belief or expectation was challenged? What insecurity was pricked? Perhaps your anger isn't solely about the traffic jam, but about your underlying fear of being late, or a sense of injustice that your time is being wasted. Perhaps your anxiety isn't just about a looming deadline, but about a perfectionist tendency that makes you fear failure, or a deep-seated need for approval that makes you dread criticism. Unpacking these layers reveals the intricate mechanisms of your inner world. This honest self-assessment requires courage. It means confronting your own shadows, acknowledging your weaknesses, and recognizing the stories you tell yourself, some empowering, some limiting. It means being brave enough to look at your irrational fears, your habitual reactions, and the unconscious drives that often steer your behavior without your conscious consent. But in this act of courageous vulnerability, you gain immense power. You transform from a passenger in your own life to the conscious captain of your soul. Cultivating deep self-knowledge also means understanding your core values. What truly matters to you? Not what society dictates, not what your family expects, but what deeply resonates with your authentic self. Is it integrity, compassion, wisdom, courage, justice? When you are clear on your values, you have an internal compass. Decisions become clearer, actions become more aligned, and internal conflicts diminish because you are living in harmony with your deepest self. When you act in ways that contradict your values, that dissonance creates inner turmoil. Self-knowledge helps you identify this dissonance and realign. Think about a modern example. Someone constantly feeling overwhelmed by their career. Surface-level analysis might suggest they need a new job or a vacation. But deep self-knowledge might reveal that their true value is personal growth and autonomy. While their current role demands strict adherence to rigid rules and stifles creativity, the discomfort isn't just about the workload. It's a profound misalignment. Without understanding this, they might jump from one ill-fitting situation to another, forever chasing an elusive peace. With self-knowledge, they can make informed choices, either by adapting their current role, seeking a different one, or reframing their perspective to align with broader values like resilience or service. The benefits of this profound introspection are immense. You gain emotional intelligence, not just about others, but about yourself. You develop a robust sense of self-awareness that allows you to observe your thoughts and feelings without being consumed by them. You become more resilient because you understand your internal resources and your own capacity for growth. You achieve a level of authenticity that radiates outward, attracting genuine connections and opportunities. And perhaps most importantly, you cultivate an unshakable inner peace that is not dependent on external validation or fleeting circumstances. When you know who you are, what you stand for, and what truly belongs to you, the chaos of the world loses its power to define your serenity. You become grounded, anchored by the truth of your own being. Practice moments of intentional silence. In the ceaseless hum of contemporary existence, silence has become a rare commodity, almost an alien concept. From the moment we wake, our phones buzz with notifications, our inboxes flood with emails, and the world outside our window blasts us with traffic, news, and the endless chatter of human activity. We are conditioned to fill every spare moment with input, with distraction, with noise. The television flickers. Podcasts narrate our commutes. Music soundtracks our workouts. And social media fills the gaps in between. We are, quite literally, losing the ability to simply be in silence. Yet for the Stoics, and for anyone seeking true mental calm, intentional silence is not merely the absence of sound. It is the fertile ground from which wisdom, clarity, and deep inner peace emerge. The ancient Stoics, long before the advent of smartphones and information overload, understood the corrosive power of external distractions on the mind. They advocated for practices like anachoresis, a temporary retreat, not necessarily to a remote cave, but a mental withdrawal from the world's clamor. This was not an escape from responsibility, but a strategic repositioning of the mind to gain perspective, to recharge, and to fortify the inner citadel against external assaults. In our modern context, practicing moments of intentional silence is our version of anachoresis. It's a deliberate act of choosing to turn down the volume of the outside world so we can tune in to the subtler, yet more profound melody of our own inner wisdom. Why is this so crucial today? Because constant stimulation creates a hyper-vigilant nervous system, leading to chronic stress and anxiety. Our brains, constantly processing new information, rarely get a chance to synthesize, organize, or simply rest. This perpetual state of on diminishes our capacity for deep thought, creative problem solving, and emotional regulation. We become reactive, impulsive, and easily overwhelmed. We are, in essence, running on empty, unable to access the very mental resources we need to navigate life peacefully. Intentional silence is the antidote. It's a purposeful pause, a conscious unplugging from the external matrix to plug back into yourself. It doesn't demand hours of meditation in a secluded ashram, though those practices are powerful. It can begin with small, manageable pockets of stillness woven into your daily routine. Consider these practical applications. The morning stillness. Before you reach for your phone, before the news invades your consciousness, dedicate 5 to 10 minutes to absolute silence. Sit quietly, observe your breath, and let your thoughts drift without judgment. This isn't about emptying your mind, but about observing its natural flow. This simple act can set a calm, grounded tone for your entire day. It allows you to choose your state of mind rather than letting the world dictate it. Mindful commute. Instead of automatically turning on the radio or a podcast, sometimes just drive or walk in silence. Observe the world around you without the filter of external commentary. Feel the sensation of walking, the sound of your footsteps, the breeze on your skin. This transforms a mundane routine into a moment of active presence. The disconnect break. Throughout your workday, instead of checking social media during a break, step away from all screens. Gaze out a window, stretch, or simply close your eyes for a few minutes. Allow your mind to wander, or simply rest. This micro break can reset your focus and reduce mental fatigue far more effectively than another dose of digital input. Nature's embrace. Take a walk in a park, a forest, or by a body of water, leaving your headphones at home. Listen to the rustling leaves, the chirping birds, the rhythm of the waves. Nature has a profound way of quieting the internal chatter, reconnecting us to something larger and more peaceful than our immediate concerns. A silent meal. Occasionally, eat a meal in complete silence. Focus on the tastes, textures, and aromas of your food. This simple practice can transform eating from a utilitarian act into a meditative experience, fostering gratitude and presence. What happens in these moments of intentional silence? Your brain begins to decompress. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for executive functions like planning and decision-making, gets a chance to rest and integrate information. Your nervous system calms down, reducing the production of stress hormones like cortisol. You start to hear the signal amidst the noise, the subtle insights, the intuitive nudges, the deeper wisdom that gets drowned out by constant external input. Seneca, in his letters, often spoke of the importance of solitude and introspection, not as a means to escape others, but to better prepare oneself for interacting with them. He understood that without regular retreats into oneself, one becomes hollow, superficial, and easily swayed. Our inner citadel, as Marcus Aurelius called it, cannot be fortified if we never spend time within its walls. Intentional silence is how we maintain and strengthen that inner sanctuary. It is in these moments of quiet reflection that the seeds of self-knowledge, which we discussed earlier, can truly take root and flourish. When the external world is muted, your internal landscape becomes clearer. You can better observe your thoughts without immediately attaching to them, recognizing them as transient phenomena rather than absolute truths. You can process emotions without being overwhelmed, allowing them to arise, exist, and pass, like clouds across the sky. The courage to embrace silence in a world that fears it is a profound act of self-care and a powerful Stoic practice. It allows you to become the master of your attention rather than its slave. It enables you to reclaim your mental space, to clarify your values, and to make more deliberate, thoughtful choices. The peace you cultivate in these quiet moments doesn't just stay within you. It emanates outward, influencing your interactions, your decisions, and your overall demeanor. You become a calmer presence, a more focused individual, and a wellspring of tranquility in a world desperate for stillness. Ultimately, practicing moments of intentional silence is about asserting your sovereignty over your inner world. It's about recognizing that while you cannot control the external noise, you absolutely can control your response to it, and your choice to periodically withdraw from it. This regular mental retreat is not a luxury. It is a necessity for anyone committed to building and maintaining an unbreakable inner calm. 7. Choose peace as a daily commitment. We have arrived at the pinnacle of this journey, the understanding that peace, true mental calm, is not a destination you passively reach, nor a gift bestowed upon you by favorable circumstances. It is an active, unwavering, daily commitment. It is a choice you make, moment by moment, regardless of what the world throws your way. This is perhaps the most profound and liberating teaching of Stoicism, that your inner state is ultimately up to you. Too often, we outsource our peace. We tell ourselves, I'll be peaceful when I get that promotion, or I'll be calm when this stressful project is over, or I'll find serenity once I'm on vacation. This way of thinking is a trap. It places our most precious possession, our tranquility, into the hands of external events, which by their very nature are beyond our control. The Stoics would argue that this is a recipe for perpetual dissatisfaction, a life lived in constant pursuit of an elusive happiness that always seems to reside just over the next horizon. The Stoic concept of proheiresis, your faculty of choice, your moral will, your inner governing principle, is central to this commitment. It asserts that while external events may impact us, our assent to those events, our judgment of them, and our reaction to them are entirely within our purview. This is where your freedom truly lies. You can choose to be disturbed, or you can choose to remain undisturbed. You can choose to succumb to anger, or you can choose to respond with equanimity. This choice, made consciously and consistently, is the essence of committing to peace. Choosing peace is not about denying your emotions or pretending that difficult situations don't exist. It's about acknowledging them, observing them, and then deliberately choosing your response. It's about recognizing that discomfort, frustration, or sadness are natural human experiences, but allowing them to define your inner state is optional. You can feel the emotion without letting it hijack your ruling faculty. Consider a modern scenario. You receive an infuriating email from a colleague or a client. Your immediate impulse might be to fire back an angry response, to ruminate on the injustice, to let your day be ruined. This is the reactive path, where external circumstances dictate your inner world. A daily commitment to peace, however, presents a different option. You acknowledge the feeling of irritation. You might even feel your blood pressure rise. But then you pause. You remember that your peace is your responsibility. You choose not to feed the anger. You choose to respond thoughtfully, perhaps by taking a deep breath, stepping away from the screen, and then crafting a calm, rational reply. or choosing not to reply immediately at all. This is not passive avoidance. It is active, intentional self-governance. It is choosing peace. How do we embody this daily commitment? Set morning intentions. Begin each day by consciously deciding that you will approach whatever comes with a sense of calm and intentionality. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself each morning, "You are going to meet with busybodies, thankless people, arrogant people, deceitful people, envious people, unsocial people." But he didn't stop there. He followed it with the understanding that these are natural human behaviors, and that his own virtue, his own peace, depended on his response, not their actions. Practice mindful responses. Throughout the day, whenever you encounter a challenge or a trigger, consciously ask yourself, what is the peaceful response here? What is the virtuous response? Instead of reacting from habit, react from deliberate choice. This might mean choosing patience over impatience, understanding over judgment, or acceptance over resistance. Reframe challenges. Instead of viewing setbacks as personal attacks or misfortunes, commit to seeing them as opportunities for growth, resilience, and the application of your Stoic principles. A delayed flight isn't just an inconvenience. It's a chance to practice patience, to read a book, or to simply observe the world around you.
Cultivate gratitude. A daily commitment to peace often goes hand in hand with a practice of gratitude. When you focus on what you have rather than what you lack, your perspective shifts. It reminds you of the abundance in your life, reducing the mental space for anxiety and dissatisfaction. Forgive yourself and others. Holding on to grudges, resentment, or self-blame is a heavy burden that disrupts inner peace. Choose to release these burdens. Forgiveness is not condoning wrongdoing. It is an act of self-liberation, choosing to free yourself from the emotional chains that bind you to the past. Continuous learning and application. Peace is not a static achievement. It's a dynamic process that requires ongoing effort. Commit to continually learning, reflecting on and applying Stoic principles. Read, listen, journal, and engage with these ideas regularly. The more you immerse yourself, the more ingrained these peaceful habits become. This daily commitment transforms you from a leaf tossed in the wind into a deeply rooted tree, unswayed by the fiercest gales. When you truly embrace that peace is a choice you make, you reclaim your power. You stop being a victim of circumstance and become the author of your inner experience. This is not to say that life won't be challenging or that you won't experience difficult emotions. The Stoics were realists. They understood the harshness of life. But their wisdom lies in teaching us that even amidst the greatest storms, we can choose to cultivate an inner calm, a sanctuary that no external force can penetrate. The integration of all the previous practices culminates here. Accepting what you cannot control frees your mind from futile struggles. Seeing discomfort as a teacher allows you to grow from adversity. Mastering small daily reactions builds your capacity for self-control. Transforming impulse into reflection gives you the space to choose wisely. Cultivating deep self-knowledge anchors you in authenticity. Practicing intentional silence clarifies your thoughts and calms your spirit. All these threads weave together into the fabric of a life lived with intentional peace. A peace chosen, earned, and fiercely protected every single day. This commitment is the ultimate expression of living in accordance with nature. Not the nature of the physical world, but the rational, virtuous nature of humanity. It is choosing to live as your best self,
to exercise your reason, and to act with integrity and wisdom in every moment. It is the path to an unbreakable inner calm, a mental fortress built not from stone, but from conscious choices. The pursuit of mental calm in a chaotic world isn't about escaping the fray. It's about building an unshakable fortress within it. It's about recognizing that while the world outside you will always churn with uncertainty and challenge, the landscape of your inner world is yours to cultivate, to guard, and to shape. As Epictetus wisely taught us, it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This isn't merely a philosophical abstraction. It's a practical blueprint for freedom. Every single day, every single moment, you are presented with a choice: to be a puppet of circumstance, or to become the master of your mind. You have the power to protect your peace, to cultivate your inner garden, and to stand as a beacon of calm amidst the storm. So I ask you, will you continue to allow external events to dictate your inner tranquility, or will you, starting today, commit to actively choosing your peace, cultivating your inner fortress, and becoming the unwavering calm in your own life? The choice, as it always has been, is entirely yours. If this message resonated with you, consider subscribing to the channel for more insights into living a more tranquil and meaningful life. And please, leave a comment below sharing one specific Stoic practice you plan to implement this week to cultivate your own inner calm. Your journey towards unbreakable peace is worth sharing.